First, I'd like to ask how many people had no clue what Rob was talking about when he said spot fleet or spot request? Okay. A few honest people. If you're not familiar with Amazon, we have a lot of jargon, unfortunately, so let me cut through some of that. Spot is excess capacity. So it's non-dedicated resources sitting in a region. So when Rob said that we got a call because we were getting ready to start impacting other users, typically what we do in a region is that we've got reserved instances that customers have asked to ensure are there for their workloads. But we want to ensure that we have capacity around for those customers that want to use on-demand pricing. So obviously we're not just going to staff that to the level of reserved. So we had some excess capacity there. In this case, 1 million cores. So I want you to think about that for a minute. We had 1 million cores excess capacity in Ireland. And typically what happens with Spot, because it's priced at a low level, because it is excess capacity just sitting there burning energy, is we would just start taking instances back. You get a 2-minute warning, and then the instances are taken away. In this case, we were a little bit kinder because we knew that we were running a test here, and we said, okay, we need to start wrapping things up, and so we can meet the demand for our customers. So that's why spot fleet is typically priced below, drastically, like 10 to 20% of list price, because it's that excess capacity that we want to ensure that customers can use. So again, I just want to give you an idea of that scale. This is one of our regions. We've got 18 across the world where we had over 1 million cores sitting there in excess capacity to use for this test. So why do I bring that up? Because we hear a lot of talk about scale. What is true scale? How can we do true high-performance computing as a cloud provider? So hopefully that gives you an idea of one of our 18 regions. We had over 1 million cores sitting there that we could do real work on. But what is real HPC work? I got another question. How many people think that you have to have InfiniBand in your network to do real HPC? All right, there. We got a few, okay. Well, I haven't updated my numbers since the new list was, new top 500 list was released this week, but the November list, over 228 of the 500 in the top 500 were running Ethernet. Almost half of the top 500 are not running InfiniBand, are not running OmniPath, are not running special proprietary networking, they're running standard Ethernet. And that's what we run at Amazon. And why do we do that? Because it's important to us to ensure the homogeneity of our network. We want to ensure a seamless workflow. But then you can ask, okay, how do we ensure that we can support tightly coupled workloads? Well, right now we're working on that. We're doing, yeah, question.
What bandwidth do you implement?
What bandwidth?
Yeah.
Right now we have 25 gig.
500 and have some 100 gig.
Yeah. Yep. We got some work to do there. And that's why I'm saying, no one's saying that right now we're going to stand up a top 500 cluster. Although I've said in the past it would be interesting given the scales that we have and some of the network optimizations we're doing, what that would look like. But can you do workloads? That's the important thing. It's not just spinning up numbers, it's not just showing scale, but can you do real work? And right now our customers are doing real work on AWS. And that's why we'd like to talk a little bit about some of the improvements we're making that will be coming out over the next 6 months. But that's more of an announcement we'll be making at Supercomputing and at our reInvent launches. We'll have improvements in various areas, instance types, network storage optimizations that I think will support these customers. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you about our regions. We've got, as I said, 18 regions around the world. We've got 54 availability zones across those regions. And we've got a capability for you to support your customers by not just increasing your migrations to the cloud through bursting, but actually standing up, as you saw here, an entire cluster that is not hybrid at all, but completely native to the cloud. So I wanted to hear more of your concerns. We heard a little bit about networking. What are some other concerns about operating HPC in the cloud? All right. Security.
Response time.
Okay. Response time.
Data transfer speed.
Ah, that's my favorite, data transfer speed. Okay, right now, we have many public data sets that are currently available on S3. And one of the common requests we get is, what do I do about migrating my data from on-prem into the cloud? We've got things such as our Snowball Edge. We've got things such as Snowmobile and Snowball, which again, more buzzwords, but allow users to migrate large amounts of data into AWS for later transformation and use within the cloud. But that's one thing that we need to continue to work on, is allowing users to improve the bandwidth between their on-prem system and into their virtual private cloud. Is anyone familiar with the concept of a virtual private cloud? Okay. So what we allow you to do there is to have, it looks like an extension of your private network into AWS. So there you're, as far as to try to address the security concerns, you are essentially inside your own network within Amazon. Okay, other questions?
What about interoperability?
Interoperability with other cloud was a question. Interoperability with other clouds, we try to maximize for the Amazon experience. We have some partners that will work and support a multi-cloud environment for you. We want to ensure that your experience is maximized on AWS and affording you all the opportunities to ensure that your API compatibilities and you get the entire benefit of operating in our ecosystem. But there are some of our partners that will be happy to support you in a multi-cloud environment.
What about security? Encryption of data?
Mm-hmm.
Securing?
Yeah, we're encryption. You're saying on the wire at rest. Yep, we've got security. We're working on improvements to security all the time. All right. Again, sorry I couldn't tease more out of some of our improvements over time, but as I said, we don't like to pre-announce a lot, but let's just say that watch more for this space. Part of why we're here with Univa is because of the importance of what they're doing with scaling Grid Engine to be able to perform at over 1 million cores. We think that we'll be able to push that even further in the future, and just say stand by to hear more in the future. Thanks.